Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, here it is Thursday, and my video is a little late. It's a 1 day late this week, but as promised, here is the video, the weekly video, and today's topic is magic once again. And the reason why I'm rehashing the subject of magic after I've already been over this several times is because certain people recently have made accusations, shall we say, against me, claiming certain things about me and claiming certain things about me in relation to magic. And I just wanted to clarify, I wanted to make clear my position on magic and what it is that I believe, because certain people have been misrepresenting me, and I want to make it clear what it is that I represent and how it is that I feel about it. Because I don't think I was clear enough in my first video. In my first video that I made on magic, I wasn't very clear. I mentioned that I practiced magic at one time and stopped practicing magic when I got more information about what its ill effects could be, but I didn't make it clear enough what my position was on magic, so I'm going to try to clarify it now. I do not feel and have never felt guilty about having practiced magic. This is an important point for me to make because some people have been saying that I felt guilty and that I had a secret guilt complex about magic, and that's why I said that magic is wrong, and that's not true. Nothing could be further from the truth. I don't have a guilt complex. I don't feel guilty about having practiced magic. In fact, I still don't feel guilty because I didn't know. I didn't know that practicing magic was wrong or that it was bad. So because I did not know, how could I feel guilty if I didn't know about it? So right now, as of today, I do not feel guilty, and I didn't feel guilty then. I didn't feel guilty then. I don't feel guilty about it now. It was the sort of thing where you didn't know, and then you were informed, and then you knew. So I don't feel guilty at all. I don't feel guilty about having practiced magic. Now that said, I don't believe in magic. I don't even believe in magic. I don't believe that you can do hocus pocus. It's ridiculous. It goes against scientific principles, and it goes against common sense. And there's no demonstrable proof that magic works. So how could I feel guilty about it? How could I feel guilty about something I don't even believe in? Obviously not. I'm not going to feel guilty, and I didn't feel guilty, and I don't feel guilty now. Now, that said, the way that just for a recap, in case anybody's just tuning in now and doesn't know, I was hearing a voice telling me that magic is wrong and to stop practicing magic. It was a voice, and I know it's not real. I know it's not a real voice, but it was a voice nonetheless calling to me, telling me that magic was wrong and to stop doing what I was doing. And so, and I've heard this voice on more than one occasion tell me that magic is wrong. So I decided that because of the voice telling me that magic was wrong, that it probably really is wrong, that it was a personal decision on my part. It was personal, and it was a decision made based upon the evidence, because I had never heard voices before I started practicing magic, and once I started practicing magic I started hearing voices. So that to me was proof or evidence that magic was bad news and that it caused me some problems in my life. Now that's just my personal take on it. That's not necessarily how you would interpret it, and I'm not going to tell you how to interpret my experience because it's a personal thing. It was very personal for me, and it was it was based upon my experience, which was very negative, of consequences for having practiced magic. So I'm not telling anybody else how they should feel about this. I know that you're entitled to your skepticism. I'm skeptical too. So that's the background on my interpretation. Now, as far as magic being wrong, what is it that I feel is so wrong about magic? Why? There's got to be a why. There's always got to be a why. Why is magic wrong? Well, I think that the reason that magic is wrong is because of the thought processes that go on in your head when you're practicing magic. It has nothing to do with magic itself, because magic is bogus. Magic is false. There's no such thing as magic. But the thought processes going on in your head are important. And these thought processes can affect our goddess, and our goddess can be quite hurt by some of the thoughts that people have when they're practicing magic, and that I think is the reason why magic is wrong. Now, I wanted to note that I am not in control in any way over the voices that I hear. I hear what I hear, okay? I'm not crazy. Okay, I know that they're just voices, but I'm not in control of it. I can't make anything happen that in regards to what I hear in my head. It's just random and comes to me randomly. So it has nothing to do with me. And I can't, a lot of people think that there's psychology behind what you hear, that it's because of something in your past, or something that you did, or something that you think, or secret feelings you have. And that's been proven false by medical science. The disease where you hear voices, it's been proven by medical science to be a sort of a random thing that's out of the control of the person who's hearing the voices. So I just wanted to emphasize once again, I did not make this up or in any way cause the voices to happen. They just happen. And I'm not in control of it. I'm just being honest about my experiences. Now, I'd like to see any of you out there be honest about your experiences. If you heard voices, would you be honest? Would you tell the world what you had heard, or would you be scared? Would you be afraid to tell people what you had heard? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to tell people what I heard. Now, that doesn't mean that you can take what I heard seriously in any way. Then that's your option. That's up to you, and it's totally up to you, because I understand. I'm a lot of the things, almost everything the voices ever told me was a lie. And you have a right to be skeptical of what you heard. But in this case, I would make an exception. I think that in this case, the voices were being honest with me when they said that magic was wrong, because of the circumstances. Because of the circumstances, I was convinced that magic is wrong to practice, because of the voices and the way they spoke to me. Now that you might feel differently, and you might think that that's crazy to take the voices seriously, but that I couldn't control what I heard in my head. That's what I want to emphasize. And because I couldn't control what I heard in my head, um, it had no relevance. Now, also, I would like to note that I am not even subconsciously in control of the voices I hear. These voices have no relevance to my life whatsoever. They're totally outside of me. They're outside of the boundaries of what I consider me. Everything that I consider me, that's my personal self, these voices are outside of me. They're from outside. I can't emphasize enough. They're not part of me. The voices are not a part of me. They're from outside of my experience. So that has been my experience. My experience has been that these voices are out of my control, and that they had nothing to do with any secret guilt complex I may have had, or any secret feelings I may have had way deep down in my subconscious mind. No, the voices are outside of me. They're outside the box. It's just as if a stranger walked up to you and started talking. That is what these voices literally are like. So don't think that way. Don't think that you play psychologist and think that I'm under control of these voices, because I'm not. Not even subconsciously. I can't control the content of the voices. They're random, and they're just like a stranger sharing their ideas with you. It has nothing to do with me. Now, I wanted to talk some more about the entity known as Lucifer, and the voice told me that it was Lucifer, and also called itself Satan at times. So it was Lucifer Satan. And Lucifer Satan is the name of a multiple personality that I have. And people don't understand this. When they hear Lucifer, they jump, and they immediately have a knee-jerk pagan reaction and say, that's Christianity, and you're a Christian because you said Lucifer, and that's the Christian God's devil. That's the Christian devil. And it's ridiculous, because I'm not in control of what these voices say to me. So I don't deserve to have any stigma whatsoever attached to me for what I heard. I'm just being honest with you about what I heard in my head. And this voice spent 5 years telling me that it was Lucifer or Satan. So I believe that this voice actually believes that it's the real Lucifer. This voice has its own personality, its own soul, so to speak, and it's separate from me. It's separate in every way from me. It has nothing to do with me. It's separate from me, and it comments from time to time on things that I'm doing or things that I'm thinking. But it named itself Lucifer, and it called itself Satan, and it was very intrusive and acted just like, a demon, because it believed it is a demon. It believes that it's a demon, and it believes it's real, and that it's really a demon that's attached to me. So I don't know if it's real. I can't tell you that. But I do know that it's got its own personality, because I know I lived through it for 5 years, which goes to show you do not know what it's like living with multiple personalities and voices in your head. And anybody who hasn't experienced this does not have the right to judge anybody else who's had this experience. If you've not had the experience, don't go judging other people, okay? Don't go judging. This makes me mad personally. Don't go judging other people for something that's out of their control, and it's an illness that they can't control and that had nothing to do with them, okay? Don't go judging. Don't go judging and rushing to judgment against people who have an illness because I know what it's like to live with this illness. You do not. I know from my personal experience what it was like. You do not. So don't go rushing to judgment on that. And lastly, I don't need to be told to be grateful for modern medicine. I'm not like a witch doctor that lived in the ancient past doing voodoo and jumping up and down with waving my stick in the air. I'm not a primitive. Okay, I know to be grateful for modern medicine. Do you know to be grateful for modern medicine too? You call yourselves witches and you believe in magic, which is outside of the norm. It is a paradox that you would think to tell me to be grateful for modern medicine. I know because I've experienced it myself, okay? I've experienced these voices and I've experienced what it's like to take these medicines, okay? And I know that the medicines have helped me and I don't need to be told to be grateful. So thank you very much for that, but I don't need to be told to be grateful. I am grateful and I don't need to be told. So modern medicine, a blessing, far better than anything. Magic sure didn't do anything for me. Hocus pocus didn't do anything for me. Praying didn't help. Only thing that helped was medicine. So as far as that goes, science gets one up. Science gets one point up on that because science came through for me. And because science came through for me, I don't see any reason to believe in superstitions like magic. Why should I? The only thing that helped me was modern medicine. Why should I believe in anything other than science in that regard? Yes, I still believe in Goddess. But modern medicine is important too. And science is important. And Goddess is on the side of science. She's not the enemy of scientists, okay? She's on your side. She believes what you believe. She doesn't believe in magic. She doesn't believe in hocus pocus. She is very scientific. So she invented science. So because Goddess invented science, she is a scientific being, and she is not against science. She is all for science. So I am for science, and I am grateful to science for what it's done. And I don't believe in hocus pocus. I don't believe in magic. I believe in science. And that's all. So that's the summary of, that's the update on Magick. And if you have any other questions or current concerns or comments, just you can write to me at my YouTube account, and I'll respond as best as I can. Thank you for listening, and have a very pleasant day.